Hey everyone. I was sitting here today just contemplating a some decisions of some people that I was at a function at a person's house last night and that I was invited to, and rarely I ever venture out too much because I don't like the um, county politics that's around here a lot. Seemingly, that's probably everywhere, and I try to stay away from the controversy. I don't need it, and I don't think anybody else does. But what this is about is HOA. So if that's not concerning you and you don't want to listen, then I understand. But I wanted to let you know what it was going to be about up front. And if you live in one of these areas and you are satisfied with this, great. If you like living that way, and more power to you. I absolutely have nothing against you. But these folks last night, we had literally 8 vehicles besides theirs, which one of them was in the garage, and the other one was sitting up close to the house. And this is a golf course as well, which they own the golf course and a decent restaurant there that's on the premises as well. Now, mind you, these folks used to run and own the rights to the restaurant, and all these people used to come and eat there at their establishment. And then her husband used to be over the golf course area, the grounds, and therefore, and all that stuff. And they both have a couple of jobs apiece. She does accounting and taxes, and I don't know quite what he does, but he does something for like NASA. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know he travels a lot and is on the phone a lot. But we were sitting there and we were talking. Well, they had obviously given up both of those things, the restaurant and the golf course stuff, because they were just, it felt like they had done their due diligence. So, which I understand that for over 10 years, that's quite a while to serve your community. And they were like the 5th house that was built in this place, and there's probably, I would say, close to 400. I'd say at least close to 400 houses built in this place, counting the condos up front. And these houses are fairly expensive. I mean, you're talking about living right on the course, and your backyard is, I think that was fairway like 11, because they live on the back 9. So any of you folks that, if you hear this, you this is probably very knowledgeable to you, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, somebody pulls up, and I seen him go out, the owner go out of the house, and he comes back in, and I could tell he was shaking his head. And he comes in, and I seen him talk to her and everything, and then that was pretty much it. And the telephone rings, and then I seen that she kind of took over that part, and then it went about 30 minutes, and then we were all outside, because it was nice, and we were all standing out, outside on the deck around back, and they have an upper and a lower deck. So we were standing on the upper and kind of watching some people finishing up playing, on that hole. And golf balls coming up in the yard, and that's just how it is. If you live on a golf course, that's just how it is. But anyway, these people come around. There was 4 of them come around the back of the house, and they kind of called him off and was talking. And then it got a little bit louder. These people were from the HOA. And they were complaining about the vehicles that was parked on the street. There was only 3 on the street. The rest of them were in the driveway because it's a pretty good sized driveway. So you got 5 vehicles in the driveway and 3 on the street, mine being one of them. And so they come in and they said, well, they wanted us to go and park our vehicles up at the, I guess, restaurant / pro shop parking area and the swimming pool, which, you know, it's probably a good half mile, close to it, a third of a mile anyway, and then walk back down or have him come back up and get us on the golf cart and bring us back down and take it. Now, we'd already been there for about an hour and a half, so it wasn't very long until people were going to start, probably leaving. And some of them were having adult beverages and stuff. I wasn't, but needless to say, some of them were. And some was smoking. I have something on that too, man. This is just crazy. But anyway, that's for another time. But I don't know how anybody can subject themselves to living someplace where they're told exactly how they can live and what they can do and what they cannot do. Meaning where you can park, how many people you can have over, where you can stand, if you can put something in your yard, but all the good, you got people driving up in your yard on golf carts, on your grass, and golf balls, house getting hit, windows getting broke out. But you want to come down in a group to see what was going on. I mean, they were looking around and looking at everybody. And I'm standing there looking at them and I recognize one of them just from the fact that I live in this town. And I just by knowing them, I went to high school with this lady. She was like this in high school. Nosy as hell. Excuse my language, but exactly that. And I thought, I can see why she lives here. Boy, this is exactly what I'm talking about. She was a Karen then, and she is now. No offense to people named Karen. None. It's just like anything else used for a pun intended, not a pun intended thing. But I just couldn't believe how these people were acting over 3 vehicles, man. And it wasn't like we were the only ones. There were people you could see around. And because there were people coming there to play golf that didn't live there, riding in on their golf carts. When I come in, I seen a couple riding in on a golf cart that obviously live in the community up the road, across the road. But they were coming there to play golf. And they didn't go pay for nothing. I guess they went to somebody's house, wherever they were going. They went the opposite way of where I came in and where I went. But, folks, if you live in these places like this, how do you do it? Because when they started talking, and I could see that it was starting to get like a heated conversation, and then they left, and then they brought out these letters that had been sent to them about some other things, and was kind of showing the people there. Well, some other people live in HOAs there too. And I'm standing here, and so they look at me, and they're like, well, David, you don't have to deal with none of this stuff, do you? I said, no, I don't. And I said, that's one of the main things that I love about living where I am. Because I'm the one that makes the decisions here. And I'm out here right now. I'm standing right by my shop. And this is how it is every day, not just Sunday. Only thing you might hear is a lawnmower, or if I'm up there where I was shooting a video the other day, across the road over that way, there's some people live over there that makes more noise than anybody around here. But today it's probably be about 82, 83 degrees, 60, 65% humidity. Not bad. The sun's kind of in right now behind the clouds, but it'll come and go. You might see it here in a minute. It'll come and go, and I'm kind of set up behind a shade here because that sun's a little potent today. But folks, I just, there's no way I could come off of this off of this farm, what you see behind me, and this way you can't see. There's no way that I could possibly give up this freedom to live in a place where I'm told how to park my vehicle, what I can park, when I can have people over, how many I could have, what I could, even with the cooking, like your grill, they have rules for that. And he extended his driveway by like 9 inches, the concrete. And he had to get permission to put down 9 inches of concrete about 15 foot long. Had to go through all kinds of chains of stuff to get this done. I mean, I knew it was kind of bad from what I've seen and heard. And then I started hearing other people talking about what they were approached with. Crazy. That one, the grass was too green. It stood out above everybody else's yard, and it didn't go with the versatility of everybody else's house. That their grass was just too green and everybody else's wasn't, and so they couldn't have that anymore. So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do with your grass? You just spray something on and kill it intentionally? Then you'll be in trouble for that. I mean, really? Come on. I mean, some of these things I couldn't hardly believe. I mean, I really couldn't. Trash cans. If it sets out longer after the trash is ran, if it sets out longer than an hour, they'll fine you. And God forsakes, if you have a flat tire, you'll get fined for that. And here's the one that's the kicker. Told me, that's one person that lives in one, not very far away from there, that they were told they had to give the HOA a key to their own home so they could come in when they weren't there to inspect it. Ain't no way. No way would that happen. My butt would go to jail for sure. Because I come home and find somebody in my house, here, there, anywhere. I can tell you what's going to happen. You're going to see a very upset, angry person, and you might get to meet that, or one of them that's kind of like that. That is unloaded, it's safe, no magazine in it, nothing. It's completely dead. It's just there as a picture. That's it. But I will tell you, here where I live, it's incentivized to protect yourself at all times, home, abroad, in this state, or whatever. And I will. This, again, I can do whenever I want, because right out that way behind this shop, for 500 yards straight, I've got berms built for safety. That I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. But I do have a piece that goes on that makes it go shh. So, it's unfathomable to me how somebody can make you do things like that on something you're paying an outrageous amount of money for. These houses, from what they cost, would be close to a quarter of what half of my farm is. Half of it. There's over 400 acres here. It's not a small farm. It's probably one of the biggest around in this area. That barn up there, I got 3 more back here like that in some other places. This shop right here, right there, that is for some just from some personal equipment. So can you imagine somebody being an HOA and having that? And look at my yard. I got to mow it tomorrow because it's going to rain the next 2 days. All that up there is hay. But I mow around my fences on both sides to keep all the weeds out of it because I don't like weeds in my fence rows. But there, that would be made to be done. It's no way. No way, folks. I would like to hear some stories. So if you live in an HOA or you have family or something that's had to deal with things like this, I would like to hear some of these things that you're made do. I can't believe it. It absolutely mesmerizes me. And I know before last night, I knew that how these things were. I've been to a lot of places, but to literally get threatened with lawsuits and fines and all this stuff, they sent him a bill for $1,500 for that concrete for a fine. And he had to pay it. And he was running the golf course and stuff. No way. They never got it out of me. Ever. So, God bless my mom and dad. Because I lived in town for a while. About 24 years I lived in town, but not there. I lived in an older part of town in a house that was built in the early 60s. Nice brick ranch house. About 2,400 square feet on almost an acre lot on the corner. But I had to do town things, but nothing like that. I mean, there's no way. I would have snapped. There's no way. But I'm thankful. I am. I get more and more grateful with every passing day, seemingly. From what I hear, I don't know that I could ever move away from here and do anything else but. Because it's a lot of upkeep and it's a lot of money. But I'll do it. Because, folks, this peace, and it's like this in my home. You don't hear anything other than the noise you make or that you're got on. That's it. This right here will bring you close to everything that matters. Absolutely, it will. This is the quiet everyone needs for a day. To get your thoughts together. To find out what really matters to you. And I'll tell you something, folks. I have been healthier since late 2017 when I moved out here. I've been healthier in the last 5 years than I've ever been in my life. I'm barely 5'9.5", and I weigh 178 to 180 pounds. And I'm pretty much just carnivore diet, but I do eat vegetables of some sorts, and I do eat fruit. So I'm not that way, all the way. And every now and then I'll treat myself to something that I like. But, folks, I can't imagine how you folks put up with it. But anyway, thank you. And drop me some comments and let me know what it is around your area and how you have to do. thank you all for stopping in, and I hope I didn't offend anyone. Take care, and God bless.